Good morning. It's very early this morning. Starting with my little monitor on, going for the 15-minute bike ride. It's dark outside still. Everyone's sleeping, and just making sure my laundry's ready. I'm gonna be just a little more candid this morning. Not necessarily a planned thing, but I, again, just want to say that I'm thankful that I'm here, that I'm alive. When you are in the hospital and you can't have family there, that's tough. Even if you're not fully with it all the time. I think it was 10 days before I could even talk to my kids. I was awake enough and just say I love them. Because talking was really, really difficult. And just remember those days when I kind of woke up and started pushing, had a little, breathing. It looks like a toy where you kind of got to blow and get the little chip into the smiley face for a certain amount of time and just be able to do certain things. And I remember the day that the doctor came in and said, "So, do you want to go home?" And honestly, I cried. I was so happy to be able to come home. They had said that there was probably another 4 weeks once I left the COVID unit to go on to another unit. And when the doctor said to me, "Well, you have kids, I don't think you can go home and, and get the rest and recover the way you need to." I told him my kids are all old enough to take care of themselves. And so that's kind of what led to me coming home early, just being able to have the support that my husband's work let him be home with me until I was okay to kind of be on my own and do work from home. So that was definitely a blessing. It was a weird ride home. It was hard to be outside in the sunlight, and even just breathing on a different machine was weird. But I was sure thankful to come home and get hugs from my kids. And again, just be thankful that I was alive, and I still am every day. Even if my thoughts can be, down and negative sometimes. Sometimes it's more like why? How come I got to be here? And yeah, when I was in the hospital, there was, lots of cold blues on the COVID unit. And when I came home, it was really, really hard because, being around certain sounds and stuff really kind of brought that up again. So besides being sick and besides all those things, there was some questions for me, It's Sunday morning today here for me, and I don't know, I'm able to go to church. For me, that's another way that I deal with my issues. And that's where my hope comes from for me. Yeah, there was just so many questions for me as I was getting better. And you just realize that you're here and to make the most of it. Spending all my time wondering why I made it, wondering why I got it as bad as I did. And there really isn't any answers for that. So, you work through it and then realize that you're here and be here in the here and now. And just make sure you tell those that you love them. Don't wait. Even if it's just in a text or messenger or whatever. Yeah. So, I bet snuffly this morning. The bike was unplugged and I had to get way down to plug it in. Then I had to take a little bit of time to kind of try and recuperate. Just because it was, it's tiring to get down there and plug something in. At least I can laugh now, but there's days it's very frustrating. You get pretty dizzy getting down there and then getting up again, so, yeah. It's very quiet this morning. Peaceful. Lots of snow outside and dark. And like I said, I'm just happy to be here, even if it's still a bit of a hill to climb for me. But it's getting better. I got a phone call from my cousins last night. It really lifted my spirits just to be able to see it was a FaceTime, to see them and just, yeah, it just, all those things help. Something else that really helped for me this past week was my husband was able to be part of my appointments with me, and it was starting to get really kind of, honestly, overwhelming is the only word I can think of, and it was good to not be alone in that, and just have someone have my back. And I know that it's been a long journey for my family too. Family close by, family far away. I know for myself, when you're far away and there's like literally physically nothing you can do, it's really taxing. And then for those that are right here with you, taking the journey right beside you, it's there's a lot of emotion. So remember to be kind to those who are taking care of you. Even when I was pretty out of it in the hospital, I would say thank you. I had a nurse say to me, "Why are you being so kind?" I said, "Well, you're helping me, I felt really bad for the nurses there, just being put there, and honestly, like, it's a new thing. They're doing the best that they can, and I mean, I heard how gruff some people could be with them. Kind of breaks my heart a little bit. So remember that for me to remember that they're there to take care of me and trying to help me, not just the nurses, my family too. Because when you get frustrated with your body and your mind and just your limitations, for me, I can get cranky. And so I always try to make sure that I apologize. My kids are older. My one son started university this year, and my daughter is in grade 11, and my youngest is in grade 7. So pretty much all teenagers at this point. And it was interesting to watch how they all dealt with it so differently. It's hard on my oldest, and honestly, with COVID going on, university has been kind of weird, but he was able to be home more because it was really hard when you had to go back to school and leave me. I think it was tough for him, and so with COVID kind of flaring up and going kind of almost back into like a bit of a lockdown here in Alberta, he's been able to be home for a couple months. He still worries as he starts to head back a little more permanently now, but I'm in a better spot that a little bit easier on him. And I think for my youngest, it was really hard to see me hooked up to, oxygen machine for those first couple months. It takes its toll. And then, everyone deals with it differently. Some cry, some get quiet, some talk about it. I think I have one of each. So for me, just to remember that even though some days I feel like I'm in it alone, that it's affecting everyone that really knows me. It's kind of trickles all the way down. And for me, I constantly am trying to remember to put my best foot forward and be kind and try and be patient with other people. I'm the least patient with myself. So the other part is a little bit easier. I feel more for my family than, But today, for me, it's just remembering that I'm thankful that I'm here, that I still get to live and see my kids grow and start to do things again. I was able to, I missed my youngest son's first basketball game. That was tough. I just wasn't wearing a mask and going out. It was difficult. I had a hard time breathing. But I was able to, thankfully, go to a few of his home games. That way, if it got tough, I was able to go home. My oldest son missed out on a couple years. They all missed out on a couple years of sports. They really love sports. But we were able to go as a family and get to watch him play a little basketball. And I'm sad I missed out on his first year of university soccer, but there's more years to come. And yeah, that's my 15 minutes, a little more candid, a little more relaxed. But just felt like that kind of morning where just share a little bit about being thankful for being here. So thank you for joining me on my journey, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.